Hello, Organics. I'm Liam, a senior studying English literature, and in today's video, we're going to be discussing David Cronenberg and the New Flesh, in hopes you all can understand Cronenberg's genius and how he was able to capture an idea, a movement, and a revolution of the 1960s and 70s, which may be more prevalent today, and I'll let you decide. So first, who is David Cronenberg? Cronenberg first emerged in 1943, born in Toronto, Canada, and is still with us today at the ripe age of 80 years decade. He graduated from the University of Toronto in 1967 with an English degree, similar to myself. And there his mind began to dive into the obscure, the subconscious, the horror, and science fiction elements of life which may be more real than we perceive and accept, which he quickly understood. His years spent studying in school and finding his beliefs were deeply affected by the period he was in. To understand Cronenberg, we must first be cognizant of the era which created and affected his vision. The 1960s was an era never to be forgotten. It was a period of one of the greatest divides and a time of revolution. This period was encapsulated by counterculture, a vast growth in news and technology, the civil rights movements, the equality of women with the second wave of feminism flourishing, a never-before-seen tolerance of homosexuality, environmental concerns, the rock and roll scene emerging, and the Vietnam War accompanied with anti-war protests. This period is marked for its revolutionary scene, fighting for every cause imaginable, which has now given us contemporary values, abilities, acceptances, and beliefs. Cronenberg found himself in his ideals during this tumultuous period, and soon after achieving his bachelor's degree in English, he became fascinated with filmmaking, and between 1966 and 1970 created several short feature-length experimental films found on Britannica.com. So let's discuss his genre of body horror and the emergence of technology. His film, Videodrome, is a piece in which forces the audience to think what kinds of effects mass media and technology can have on the mind and body. Videodrome is a critique of the most popular form of mass media during the 1980s, television. And the main character, Max Wren, is a TV executive who is obsessed with getting high ratings and views. He focuses on a sexually charged and graphic movies, believing this is the new wave of cinema. Eventually, he comes across a pirated film, Videodrome, which is filled with sexual torture and murder. And after viewing this, he begins to have gnarly hallucinations containing sexual ideas combined with bodily horror. After diving into the history of Videodrome, he learns how the show is broadcasting into a part of his brain and he starts developing a tumor. Another aspect of body horror which Cronenberg captures. During his hallucinations, there is a cassette placed into his abdomen, a clear example of technology becoming one with man. And eventually the video broadcast is revealed that it is a mind-controlled program which forces Max to go on a killing spree. And he takes a gun, which we see eventually and morbidly becomes one with his hand and body. So how does this apply today? I believe this film is more prevalent today and predicted the course of human evolution, not alongside technology, but becoming one with technology. So what is the most accessible piece of technology today? Arguably the smartphone. And according to studies found on Zippa, 81.6% of Americans, totaling 270 million people, own a smartphone as of 2023. The average American spends 5 hours and 24 minutes on their mobile device every single day. And Americans check their phone on average 96 times per day, or once every 10 minutes. And there are roughly 6.92 billion smartphone users across the world. That is 86.29% of the global population. So the scene I would like to discuss more is when Max's hand and gun become one. It is an emergence. It is him becoming one with the new flesh. It is him growing and becoming one with technology. Now, I would like to say if this film were filmed today, it would not be the gun, but it would be the iPhone in his hand. Because the new flesh is not human evolution, as I said, but it is a technological human integration, us becoming one with technology, not growing and adapting alongside it. So the next idea I would like to dive into is the ability of media to control the mind and actions, just how Videodrome was able to program and control Max's mind. The idea that the broadcast was controlling Max is the modern parallel of news, influencers, tweets, TikToks, and YouTubers' ability to choose our actions, create our ideas, and influence our beliefs. Another scene in which Max is hallucinating, he is having intercourse with the television screen. So this only expresses his drive to be with technology, but also to be one and in technology. So porn is another theme in which Cronenberg captures in this movie and emphasizes in the scene. And a few statistics that I found are around that 35% of all internet downloads are pornographic. Porn is an addiction, an epidemic, and 65% of young adult men estimated to be porn addicts. Addiction controls the mind. Porn is a technological-based media, therein another form of media controlling Americans in a vastly detrimental form. So, Cronenberg, he may have predicted how modern day society is being entertained, being controlled, and being influenced, especially by these pornographic scenes in which so many people are affected and a part of. And the rapid and vast adoption of these technologies is changing how we find partners, accessing information from the news, and how we organize and demand political change. YouTubers are able to share their thoughts and ideas with an unprecedented reach. No matter how accurate or safe their influence is, they are able to reach millions. So the new flesh is becoming scarier and more aggressive each day. We have people buying properties in the metaverse. And Elon Musk has stated, we're going to create simulations that are indistinguishable from reality. So I would like to argue that people are no longer a part of nature. We are now a part of technology. And Cronenberg started to give us and help us understand how scary and real in the course that this is going to take. We are immersed in these technologies, and we are becoming one with these technologies. We are no longer separate. However, he doesn't give us solutions. So what I'd like to do is help us and help you find outlets so the new flesh is no longer one with technology. Currently, we learn from the interweb and the faces we see in our screens. However, people must reconnect with nature. People must learn from books and face-to-face contact. Being an English major, I will share what I've learned from our predecessors and what they have left behind for us to return to. A transcendentalist poet and writer, Henry David Thoreau, stated in his essay Walden, "I went into the woods because I wished to live deliberately, to front only the essential facts of life, and see if I could not learn what it had to teach, and not when I came to die discover that I had not lived." We must return to nature instead of technology. I believe that nature and the natural world is the ultimate teacher in which we have been disconnected from. Robert Frost, an early American rock star figure of the poet world, stated, "Nature is always hinting at us. It hints over and over again, and suddenly we take the hint. Except today we've stopped taking the hints from nature. She is the ultimate teacher which we must once again realize." Another transcendentalist writer, Ralph Waldo Emerson, believed that everything in nature is a source of wisdom, simplicity, and fulfillment. And this is seen in his essay Nature. In section 7 Spear, when he writes, The happiest man is he who learns from nature. I believe that we are filled in the modern day with depression, mental health, and I believe disconnecting from the virtual world and reconnecting with nature in the outside world can help a lot of the modern day issues. Another poem by William Cullen Bryant, Thanatopsis. He writes, "Go forth under the open sky and list to nature's teachings, while from all around, earth and her waters, in the depths of air, comes a still voice." Your phone may not always be buzzing or going off. People may not be contacting you, but nature is always there to listen, and you must learn to listen to her as well. I believe many of you have heard the name Walt Whitman, and in his essay, Specimen, he teaches us, quote, "After you have exhausted what there is in business, politics, and so on, have found that none of these finally satisfy or permanently wear, what remains? Nature remains." Our devices die, they power off, the power goes out. What happens when our modern source of information, communication is not with us? Where do we go? We must learn and connect and create our new flesh with nature. We come from nature and we must go back to her. And one of my favorite poets, a romantic poet, William Blake, states, "The tree which moves some to tears of joy is in the eyes of the others only a green thing that stands in the way. Some see nature all ridicule and deformity, and some scarce see nature at all. But to the eyes of the man of imagination, nature is imagination itself." What I'm trying to express, even though in this video it is contrary to my point, we must return to literature, return to past wisdom and experience, return to nature. We are becoming one with technology, which Cronenberg warned us against with the new flesh. We must once again become one with the natural world. Look to our late great poets, read what they left us, and I hope that our new flesh can return to the flesh of the natural world. So I hope today, if anything you can take away is maybe after this video, you can put your phone down, you can read, you can go for a walk, and we can begin to reconnect and become one again with nature. Because our new flesh cannot be with technology. It is devastating. It is hurting the modern person. But we have a chance. We are not yet too far into the new flesh where we cannot return. So take this opportunity, please, and have a great day.